In the heart of West Africa, among the sun-scorched cliffs and dusty plains of Mali, lives a people who hold a secret. A secret that not only challenges our understanding of ancient history, but also hints that humanity is not the only intelligent species to have visited this planet. This is the story of the Dogon tribe. Outwardly, their life is simple and has remained almost unchanged for thousands of years. But behind the facade of primitive rituals and mud huts lies knowledge they simply shouldn't possess. Knowledge that modern science could only confirm in the 20th century with the help of the most powerful telescopes. It all began in the 1930s when French anthropologists Marcel Griaule and Germaine Dieterlen decided to study this enigmatic people. They were not ordinary researchers. They spent more than 30 years with the Dogon, gradually earning their trust and being initiated into their most sacred secrets. And one day, the priests, the guardians of ancient knowledge, told them the story of their origin. A story that came from the stars. Central to Dogon mythology is the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius. To us, it's just a beautiful star. To them, it is home. But that's not the most astonishing part. The priests explained that Sirius is not actually one star, but three. They spoke of the main star, Tolo, and its invisible companion, which they call Ptolo. According to their knowledge, Ptolo is an incredibly small, yet unimaginably heavy star. They described it as the heaviest star in the universe, claiming that even a small piece of it would weigh as much as hundreds of laden oxen. This is a strikingly accurate description of a white dwarf, a superdense object, a teaspoon of which would weigh several tons on Earth. But how could they have known this? Sirius B, as scientists call it, was discovered in 1862, but due to its dimness, it remained a mystery. Its nature as a white dwarf was only confirmed in 1915, and the first photograph of it was not taken until 1970. But that's not all. The Dogon stated with absolute precision that this invisible companion revolves around Sirius in an elliptical, not circular, orbit, and completes a full rotation in exactly 50 Earth years. Modern astronomy gives the figure as 50.04 years. Where did a tribe that didn't even have a written language get such accuracy? Skeptics, like the famous astronomer Carl Sagan, proposed the theory of cultural contamination. They suggested that some European missionary or traveler in the 1920s might have visited the Dogon and, being an astronomy enthusiast, shared the latest scientific discoveries with them. This version seems logical until you consider the details. Which casual traveler in those years could possess such specific and complete information? Knowledge about white dwarfs was the domain of a handful of the world's leading astrophysicists, not a topic for conversation around a campfire in the African savanna. But the Dogon didn't just describe the stars. They spoke of where this knowledge came from. Their myths tell of amphibious beings, the Nommo, who descended from the sky long ago in an ark that landed with noise and wind. These beings emerged from the water and gave their ancestors knowledge about the structure of the cosmos, agriculture, and social order. They were the teachers of humanity. And here, the story of the Dogon echoes the legends of other ancient civilizations. The Sumerians spoke of the amphibious Oans, who came out of the Persian Gulf to teach people. Similar myths exist in Babylon, Egypt, and India. Could this be a mere coincidence? Famous mystics and psychics, such as Edgar Cayce, spoke of ancient civilizations like Atlantis having direct contact with cosmic civilizations and preserving knowledge that modern humanity is only beginning to rediscover. Cayce claimed that many ancient monuments were built using knowledge of cosmic energies, often centered around Sirius. Are the Dogon the last living guardians of fragments of this ancient, stellar knowledge? They also spoke of a third star in the system, Emia, which modern astronomy has not yet confirmed, but its possible existence is suggested by gravitational anomalies. If telescopes one day confirm the existence of Sirius C, the entire skeptical theory of the accidental traveler will crumble to dust. And we will have to admit that an isolated African tribe knew more about the heavens than all of world science. So who are the Dogon? Just a people with a unique mythology that accidentally guessed complex astrophysical data? Or the living legacy of a real paleocontact, proving that we have never been alone in this universe? The answer to this question is still hidden in the dust of the African savannas and in the cold light of distant Sirius. So what choice are we faced with? On one hand, a pile of incredible coincidences. We are supposed to believe that the Dogon tribe somehow independently calculated the complex orbit of an invisible star, guessed its nature as a superdense object, and did so with astonishing accuracy, centuries ahead of all world science. And then they simply wove these facts into their myths. On the other hand, there is their own story. Simple and at the same time fantastic. That the knowledge was given to them. That they are the heirs of contact with a civilization for whom interstellar travel was commonplace. And here, the mystery of the Dogon ceases to be just a local African story. It becomes part of a global mosaic, scattered across the entire planet. Think about it. The ancient Egyptians with the mathematical precision of their pyramid constructions, oriented towards the stars. The civilizations of Mesoamerica with their complex calendars, surpassing European ones in accuracy. The incredible polygonal masonry at Puma Punku, which is impossible to replicate even today. What if all these are not separate mysteries, but chapters of the same long-lost book? The book of human history, from which the very first and most important page was torn out. The page on which our cosmic ancestors were described. Perhaps the Dogon are not an exception, but the last people on Earth who still remember what was written on that page. Look at their rituals. Their famous Kanaga masks, with their strange geometry reaching simultaneously towards the sky and the Earth, symbolize the connection between worlds. Their main festival, the Sigue, is held only once every 60 years. A ceremony that some researchers believe is intended to synchronize the life of the tribe with the great cosmic cycles. This is not just culture. It is a system for preserving knowledge, encoded in dances, myths, and rituals. The irony is that today, with our giant radio telescopes and space observatories, we are still trying to find evidence of a third star in the Sirius system, while the Dogon simply know it is there. We are searching, and they are remembering. Perhaps we will never get a direct answer. The priests who shared their knowledge with the French anthropologists are long gone. The modern world is penetrating even the most remote corners of Africa, and ancient knowledge is gradually dissolving, giving way to new beliefs. The trail leading to the origins of the Dogon mystery is growing cold. But the enigma itself remains. It is like a silent artifact, a message from the depths of time. It reminds us that the universe is far more complex and wonderful than we are used to thinking, and that our own history may not be the one we read in textbooks. The question is not whether aliens have visited Earth. The question is whether we are ready to admit that someone before us might have known more about the world than we do, and that the most important knowledge is not what we discover, but what we risk forgetting forever.